Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, Bitchute channel and Facebook page at True Divine 44. You can also get me at The True Divine on Instagram and Twitter. These are the daily energy readings where I combine the energy work that I do and the tarot work that I do to bring a narrative to help you guide your day, reach your highest potentials, recognizing the energies within you, around you and within others. Take what resonates as it is general and leave what does not. Excuse the turmeric fingers. I was doing some work with turmeric last night and didn't really think about, as I don't, the impact of stainage. So we're going with the turmeric look today. So this is for the 17th of February 2021. There's a very specific message, and also obviously it's general, so take what resonates, but it's a very specific message for somebody, and then obviously I'll expand into what the message is for others as well, where you can put them to your day, to your settings. So we've got, surprise, surprise, the Judgment card on the bottom of the deck. So this speaks of finding your path, but also for today, again, that those big questions of what do I leave behind? What have I learned? What can I expand with? What can I take forward? But more importantly, again, there is so much stripping away happening in everybody's lives, particularly those who are raising their frequency, raising their consciousness, raising their knowledge, their intuition, their psychic abilities, connecting back to self more and more. There is so much bump that we need to get rid of. There are so many things that do not serve us, and we've been affected by them deeply. And so there's this continuous question right now, and there has been for the last year, 18 months, of this Judgment card. What do I leave behind? What do I take forward? What do I what serves me to go forward with? Now, this isn't always the most pleasant of feelings. There are things that, you know, have got their hooks well and truly into us, whether it's people, whether it's belief systems, whatever it might be, affiliations. There's a lot of things to unpick within the Judgment card when you're asking yourself that question of what do I leave behind and what do I take forward, as to being truly and deeply honest with self, to say, you know, why am I attached to this, or why am I attached to this person? What draws me to this person? What keeps me there? What draws me to this belief system? What keeps me there? And looking at the evidence for yourself, judging for yourself. And this is where the Judgment card is truly misunderstood, of accepting judgment of others when there is no place for others to judge. They can't judge because they cannot be so deeply inside of your being to know these attachments, to know what really does serve you and why, and what really does not serve you and why, because we all have our tendencies to bring things back to self to a certain extent. So anybody even passing judgment is doing that through the lens of themselves, not through the lens of you. So being clear with yourself, questioning self, is a huge underpinning message of today on the 17th. We've got the Knight of Staffs, Knight of Wands on the bottom of the other deck. And so this speaks of rushing in quickly, being in on the gallop rather than the trot, passionate. This is a friendly energy. This is a get it done kind of energy. That it comes in when it's needed, with that fire, with that purpose, with that drive, with that you know, let's get this done kind of energy. But then the warning is to not rush in too quickly. Fools rush in, to not be too quick to let go of things that do serve you, and too quick to react, to hold on to things that don't serve you in particular. Messages come with this night, certain so a lot of you might, when you're questioning yourself with this Judgment energy on the bottom of the other deck, it might be that you are there's certain questions, certain revelations for self that you have that sort of come in like a lightning bolt, come in like a bolt of fire, like a wand, like an arrow, a fire arrow. And so this is where you have this aha moment of that's where that came from. That's why I'm holding on to that, or that's why I let go of that and I shouldn't have done, whatever it might be for you. But there's this fast, speedy energy to it. A lot of you might be served better with the Judgment card and the Knight of Wands energy to actually fire those questions at yourself fast and take the fast answer. That's a really good way for a lot of people, depending on the makeup of your mind and how it works. It's a lot of people find that a good way to get the truthful answer of take that quick answer, make yourself just answer quickly. What does your intuition put up quickly? Write it down, come back to it. But come in like that Knight of Wands, firing those questions itself in order to get the more truthful answer, the more stripped away from all of the excess external baggage answer. For the first card, we've got the King of Cups. And so this is a royal energy, and in knowing of his sovereignty, of his divine energy, of his compassion. He has his emotions in check. His emotions don't have him in check. He's in flow. He's very gifted, artistic, able to see people's skill sets, able to read people's emotions, able to pick up on people's emotions. Now we've got the Queen of Swords in reverse to clarify this. And this is where there's a very specific message here. It feels like I'm speaking to a male who is having problems with maybe an ex or a transitioning ex, let's say, especially with that Judgment card of questioning what serves you, who serves you, what to leave behind, what to take forward. Now, the Queen of Swords in reverse is ouch. Be very, very careful to not be too compassionate towards this energy because this energy will burn you as soon as look at you. It seems to involve children. It seems to involve a little boy in particular. And so this is where to be led by your intuition as the Queen, as the King of Cups is paramount. But also the King of Cups isn't, he's full of wisdom. He's not stupid. He's very wise, very intuitive, and can be very strategic. But this Queen of Swords, being thought, intellect, words with that sword there in reverse, is also very intelligent, very able to manipulate situations and manipulate words. So less is more right now. The less said in private, even in private messages, private phone calls, is very important. That will keep you safer regarding what's to come, especially if this is involving the child that I can see. Be very, very careful of this energy, the accusations that might be thrown your way. So protect yourself. But on the plus side, you're seeing this energy for what it is. Now, as far as a less specific message, because that's very much like a personal reading, there is this energy of the divine masculine and divine feminine. The divine feminine in some of you today is all messed up, and it seems like some old wounds have resurfaced, and that's probably with this energy of knowing you're being pushed from within self to question what you need to take forward, what you need to finally let go of, and what you need to be able to expand forward with. And the divine feminine is a little bit turned upside down today. Keep that in check. Use your divine masculine energy within to show that compassionate side, to keep control over your emotions. So the words that you may feel like venting without thinking, or the thoughts that you might be casting, be very aware to engage with your divine masculine side to keep your divine feminine in check. You don't want to be casting negative spells, negative words, negative thoughts about others, when you're in this space within. What you do want to do is be using the master, using the divine masculine energy of the King of Cups to explore this divine feminine energy, using that self-questioning tool as to why is this coming up now? Why is this old wound, is this old memory coming up now? And rather than seeing it as a curse, see it as something that is a gift. In order to finally let go of those things that are holding your divine feminine to ransom, holding your divine feminine energy to ransom. For some of you, it does involve sexual energy. It does involve pains and hurts over things like that, relationships. But a lot of you also, it does involve that inner child and some things that occurred when you were a child, in particular on the feminine side of things. And so this is where you have this fatherly, divine masculine energy within for you to utilize, to guide your way through compassionately, but because it's the King and not the Queen of Cups, very much in control, very much in authority of the emotions. And so that's keeping, if you can engage in that, that's keeping those thoughts and those words that you might cast out in check. You know, these kinds of energies, when you're casting things out without thinking, there's that boomerang effect. You do not want these kinds of words and thoughts coming back at you. They'll eat you up more than they will anybody else that you're casting them to, no matter what that anybody else has done to you in the past. So be aware of this. Explore your divine feminine through the lens of the divine masculine King of Cups energy that is very authoritative, but very compassionate at the same time, very much in control of his emotions. And this is where this will serve you best. Speak very little to others today if you're feeling this energy. You know, be with self. Transmute your way through this, because this is a kind of energy that could get sticky, that could get, you know, messy, and regrets would be felt tomorrow. So we've got the Ace of Swords as the next card. So this is where this is good, because this shows that through doing this inner work, through doing this divine masculine, checking out the divine feminine energy within and keeping that divine feminine energy in check, in flow, while you think your way through these feelings. We have this clarity coming in, this aha moment, this this clear thought, this clear mind. And this is good because this puts that Queen of Swords back up in the upright. It's her sword, it's her element, it's a clearing of the way. There's a lightness here when you're doing this transmutation of these energies, of these thoughts, of these wounds, and letting go of what needs to be let go of. We've got the Two of Swords to clarify this, and this is where, again, it's engaging, using those thoughts with this new clarity, then guiding your next steps through through your heart mind, through your heart chakra. She's got a she's now pure of thought. So where this energy is being turned upside down within for many people today, there's this purity there now because of this clarity, because of this inner work that's being done. So this is when you can engage in looking at your options, looking at your directions through your heart space, through your heart mind, rather than this angry, very abusive space of, and for a lot of you, self-abusive space of the Queen of Swords in reverse. Now, as far as the first message that seemed more personal to the male energy, there's this clarity within. There's certain things that are said today from this energy of this Queen of Swords. There's certain words that you're going to pick up on that brings this clarity to you and allows you to actually see the inner being, the very hurt, very wounded being that is acting like the cornered, angry bear. There's this clarity for you, and you can start thinking through your heart space, through your heart chakra. And because you're coming up as the King of Cups in the first instance, to have that, to have the cups energy, the authority over your emotions, that compassion, but then to have the clear thought of the swords, the element of the very person who wants to inflict pain on you right now and being very awkward and narcissistic right now, is that it's a winning day for you. And from this space, you can see where these true feelings and intentions and pains are coming from in this divine feminine energy that isn't acting also divine. And so you can start thinking which direction to go in from a more pure space, from this King of Cups energy, but in the pure space of the element of air, which is the element of that is trying to affect you in a negative way. So this is powerful for you today. So where it doesn't feel comfortable, there's this aha moment. And so we've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So this is where I was picking up on that little boy. Certain plans, you know, life hasn't turned out the way you thought it would within this relationship, within this family unit. This little energy, this young energy, is feeling upside down, feeling turned inside out, feeling torn. Feeling like the world's, you know, the ground's moved from underneath their feet. And this is because of what is going on with the adults in that child's life. So it's super important today that that child's needs are paramount. And that might take, sorry, I've got a hair in my mouth, the clarity of knowing to let space and time happen today, to avoid any more shouting, any more things being broken where this little energy is, residing. There's certain ways that you could really speak to this child, particularly through play, to help them transmute what is going on, the changes that are happening in their lives, to put the world and the ground back under their feet, so to speak, to create that foundation for them to be on. Obviously age appropriate, but honesty is key, because this child can see and know more than you think. It just, they may not have the words to relay that to an adult, but for an adult to relay that honesty to them, it gives them the words, it gives them that clarity for themselves, that Ace of Swords for themselves, to be able to make sense of the thoughts that they were already having, but now being gifted the words from the authority figure in their lives to be able to speak it out, to be able to talk about it further. That's super important. Now, for the more collective energies, is that we have projects that are halted, things that you want to get done, that you're very eager to get done, being halted today. Going back to this clarity and these two paths to think about, it's may take that you need to go in a different direction, but this Page of Pentacles energy in reverse is very attached to a direction that you'd already decided upon, and so you want to go full force, that you're going to keep going into walls. It's about being more in flow. Now, the reason for the projects being delayed, the jobs getting done being delayed, is a spirit issue, in that there's this Chariot card, and so this is fast movement in spirit. This is fast movement in the balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine, the yin, the yang, the dark, the light, and this Chariot going forward. And this Chariot goes forward with speed, and it is in spirit, and then coming into the material, those changes being made. So there's certain aspects where you're wanting to go with speed into the physical to get something done. But the right way around to do this would be to get right with spirit. And there's certain things with that, with this judgment card, that once you really think about it and have this clarity, you're able to let go of certain things that will rip your chariot apart. Because they weren't in balance. There were things that should have been left behind in the dark tomb that you're emerging from. And that is when this page of pentacles will turn in the upright. As far as the individual with the child, you can only get right with your spirit. You can only be in balance with your spirit. But actually, there's certain releases of this person that you need to do. And once this is done, your chariot is then in balance, and whatever this person tries to throw at you then in the physical, including the ransom of this child, it doesn't work. It's not as effective because you don't have that, you're on a different frequency, and so your chariot will not get ripped apart. And this is where you can come in as the foundation underneath this child's feet. So there's certain things that still need to be let go of. So it is a day of real self-reflection, questioning of self, very much alone time, very much working with your elements, very much energy work focused, element work focused, your waters, your earth, your air, your fire, your spirit, even your ether. So there's a lot of element work today. So it might, with this judgment card, serve you to actually work through it that way, if that serves you better, depending on how your mind works, to go through your elements. So you're in a good position with your cups. And so this is where you would start with your waters first, maybe say, so where are my waters flowing to? When I close my eyes and breathe deeply, where does the river, which bank does the water first bump up at? And you'll see the image of the person or of the thing or of the thought. And that's when you can work through that. And then you let that river flow again and see which bank it ends up at again. And then you can go to do that with your fire. Okay, so I'm burning my fire. Where do the embers go? What person do they stop at in my mind's eye? What way does the flame bend, and what does it light up in that dark corner? What do I see? What's the immediate thought? What's the immediate sight that I see? You can do that then with your earth as to, okay, so what is grounding yourself, putting your feet in earth, in sand, but then also in your mind's eye, saying, okay, so I'm going to let everything flow down to the feet. What wants to slip away? What wants to be let go of? What is actually clinging on? What can I be? What's the earth trying to suck away from me? And see the image of the person, call that, or the thing, or the project, or the child, and then do that with your thoughts. Okay, so I'm putting bubbles in the air. This is my thoughts. This is my wisdom. What images are in those bubbles, or where do those bubbles pop? What person do they pop at the feet of? What person do they have the face of? Whatever works for you, but just play with the elements today. It'll really help you work through that strategically to gain that balance. Because of course, in that individual's reading, this child is paramount. Always. That's my first and mainly only rule. You know, kids are all right, I'm all right. You know, do whatever you like. As long as kids are okay, I'm okay with you. That should be the foundation point for everything. So yeah, and it's difficult. It's difficult. But the more you try to manage that person, the more you try to manage this person and not just work with self, the more trouble you're going to run into. As frustrating as it'll be for that Queen of Swords in reverse, when you stop trying to manage them and just go and start doing your own element work, your own self-questioning, your own spirit work. This is when that frequency, that try as they might to get at you, to have things thrown at you, to have things spoil things for you, particularly with this child, tries the mate, just doesn't go, just doesn't match, it just doesn't marry up anymore. So that's it's good, but there's work to be done in order to keep it good, in order to make it good. And I'm sending energy out to your child, whoever's child that might be, and I'm sending energy out to you, and of course to this Queen of Swords in reverse. Sending that energy out, because this is coming from a space of real hurt, real past abuses, and not having the tools or the teachings to know how to work through that. In a way, very childlike in itself, that inner child screaming out, and it's manifesting as an adult wanting to attack. But with that King of Swords, King of Cups lens, you can see through that. You can see as the fatherly energy where that pain, where that torment is coming from. So sending love out to everybody that's involved with that today, and of course everybody else. I love and appreciate you all. If you want a personal reading, any energy work, any spiritual guidance, you can hit me up at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, and you can get me at truedivine44 at Facebook Messenger. Much balance, love, and wholeness. Mwah. A turmeric finger moi.